In today's editorial, can we stop being offended by everything now? I understand that we live in a nation divided, but can we at least start to respect each other's differing views and opinions? If you're subscribed to this channel, or if you're friends with me on Facebook, then you might have noticed that I never complain about being offended by something. I sound off and voice my opinions and give facts, without a doubt, but I never actually whine or complain about being offended by anything. I've never actually used the words "I'm offended by ... This is where I'm at in terms of being offended. Mind you, I was on vacation this week, so this was pre-recorded before I left home. First off, offense is taken, not given, so whatever it is that makes you get your britches in a twist is something that only you need to work out. If you make it a point to announce to the world or even to a friend that you're offended by something, that's a personal problem that needs to be dealt with on a personal level. Complaining about being offended is basically the same thing as whining. Secondly, I know for a fact that I've said some things that have offended a lot of people. Do I care? Well, that depends. Let's unpack the elements. In my daily rant recordings, hands down, I've offended people. It's called vitriol. You get what you give. So maybe you should ask your doctor if payback is right for you. Furthermore, no, I don't care. When an absolute dullard wants to believe everything they're told without question, investigation, or desire to find empirical evidence for a claim being made, then I have absolute zero issue with calling them out on their stupidity. The suspension of critical thinking helps no one and does nothing to better the situation. I touched on this in last week's editorial about how ineffective prayer is, and how dangerous and deadly religious indoctrination can be. By the way, I stand by that. I'm sure I'll hear about it from someone in the future. Someone will whine and bellyache about how offended they are, and I still won't care. I'm not a fan of the phrase agree to disagree, especially when all sides of an issue aren't being examined fairly. Agree to disagree is the lazy conclusion to a complex issue, and it only shows that one person isn't viewing or assessing the situation in an unbiased, impartial manner. It shows that one person doesn't give a fuck about what's actually true, and agree to disagree is the free pass card to intellectual conversation. It's the unwillingness to find out what's actually true instead of what they feel is true. Whenever I hear the words agree to disagree, it's the friendly way of saying, talk to the hand. So, in closing, stop whining about being offended. No one cares and no one will rescue you from yourself or your hurt feelings. Here's an idea. Start rescuing yourself. Start assessing those things that offend you and think of ways to avoid whining about it publicly. There are two things to remember. Whining about being offended is a cry for attention, and if you never say anything that will potentially upset some people, then you're not saying very much.